Join us now as we continue with more of Hush Ladies, the Men Are Talking.
How many of you all, or do you all, have a friend that will check you if you're wrong? I'm not talking about you pouring into somebody. I'm talking about my Sheila. I'll use Sheila as my accountability partner from the battle station. If I'm doing something that's jacked up, she's gonna say it to me. It's not good grammar, but it's good theology. My sisters, one sister says if she wants somebody to go along with her, she'll call one sister. If she wants somebody to tell her the truth, she'll call the other sister. Who is the Nathan in your life? Who is the person that will say to you, what you did was messed up, and I really need you to reconsider what's happening?
I don't have anybody specifically, because when I speak to people and the friends that I have no problem with checking them. All my friends, and I don't have no problem with anybody checking me, any place, anytime. My number one fan is my wife. She loves checking me. Because, sometimes I do get out of pocket, and I don't have a friend there, but my wife's like, watch yourself. But I understand, because I'm the only guy in my house. So I have to, be a little bit different because my whole house is females. My daughters check me. My little one should check. One day, I came home, she's like, hey. I'm like, what? She was like, I had to apologize to her. I have no reason, it doesn't bother me to apologize if I did something wrong, even to my child. If somebody comes up to me, and, I'm just getting out of pocket, and I'm like, yo, Angel, look, this ain't you, man. I don't get like that. Oh, you're right. I apologize. Forgive me. I ask for forgiveness because that's not who I am. So specific, if I have any one specific person, no. I feel like if you're my friend, no matter how long the relationship is or how long the relationship's been, or how much we talk or we don't talk, if we're friends, like you say we are, I accept anybody checking me, whether it's a male or a female. Because I don't feel like that. I just need one person to check me because that person's never around. I'm just going to cut up. So for me, I'm pretty much open to, somebody say, hey, Joe, stop, okay? Thank you. I needed that because I was getting off track. So me having that one specific person, no. But my wife does it to me all the time. I'll be in the car, she'll be sorry, babe.
Thank you. Tom.
No, and it's my fault. But it's not really my fault. It's just the way I'm made. I'm very charismatic. I'm very loving, but I'm also very humble. Okay, but I have strong leadership skills. And even from the time growing up in the hood, from establishing the little league, football games, the basketball games, even we had a little homework club. Those were the kind of inspirations that I had, but I always was out front. And so I think because of my strong personality and my charisma, a lot of times people would gravitate towards me. A lot of folks gravitate, aka the name, or like all out the name, however you say it, Papa G. Okay, I have a whole lot of sons and daughters, not biological, and I love that. I love that. I'm carrying like Robbie and the rest of the guys are, okay? But I think because of that, and because I'm positive 99.9% of the time, and a man of strong faith, then often people don't ever think I have issues. Now, I do have a couple guys that I vet. I'm comfortable enough that I can release stuff, but I can't in recent memory when I knew that I was jacked up, and they also knew that I was jacked up because they were being jacked up when I was being jacked up.
They were jacked up with you.
They were jacked up with me. Okay, but I would be the one who would say, hey, you know what? You need to go home. You need to go home to your family. How you don't worry about me. I'm good. I'll handle mine when I get there. But you need to take your butt home and go do what you need to do. That was always me. I got the first time. I should be real mad right now. I got the first time for one of them. Okay, but we boys, we tight now. and the one who I love to life. Okay, that has been my closest friend for almost 40 years now. Okay, and again, he's the type of friend there when I need him, those types of things. Okay, but if I had meant to sin, I probably was a little messed up. Then he might say, well, I started to tell you. No, don't start to tell me. You need to tell me.
Right.
Okay.
Don't let me be all over that.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is no, but I think it's because of the way that I'm made, my personality traits and stuff like that. It's strong. So it takes an equally or probably stronger person than myself, who will take that chance, which I wish they would, to speak to me and say, hey, you might want to reconsider, you might want to check that.
And that's a lot of it. When you are a leader, everybody thinks you're in the
together.
And man, I'm just as screwed up as the rest of them. I had so many people around me and under me. I should have never got to where I was. But not a one would take that. Hey, Will, you're screwing up, man. What's wrong with you? They just think you got it together, and I'm an excellent person of hiding it too. So, but yeah, there should have been people there. You know what I mean? And there was one. I did have a friend that really just. He's the one that sent me to this thing. Like, you're going.
Okay.
And so yeah, but when you're a leader, it's hard, right?
Is it as hard to have the friend, or is it as hard to allow people to see? Because you said twice tonight that you have fought depression.
Oh yeah, whole life.
You have no idea how well that does my soul. Not that you have fought depression, but that you're honest about it. Because so often, not just men, but people are shamed by depression.
Yeah.
And it's real.
It is.
And a lot of people are suffering with it. So would you speak to that? Do you mind telling us how that happened?
How did it all happen? Man.
Chair only is comfortable.
Well, no, it goes a little deeper than a lot of stuff. But I had seasonal like depression. It literally come on for me as it started getting cold in the year, and like the fall. And I love the fall. It's my favorite time of season. Big guy, I like cold weather. But it should have been my right? But it was always, I got depressed around. And I thought it was Christmas, right? Well, it's just a silly season, it's whatever. But it wasn't that, because I love that too. Because I love family. And that's when you always get to see your families and stuff. But it would happen every year. And I would get out of it. But the last 2 years, it never went away. It just kept piling on. And I was a leader. I was a leader in my church. I have a company, employees, and it just built and built and built. And then I quit talking to people. I totally quit talking to people. Just started shutting people out. And part of me was, as I rose up into leadership higher up, I felt like I couldn't let stuff out because it might hinder somebody. But I would encourage all leaders, we need to be way more transparent with what we're dealing with, because people out there are dealing with the same thing. And that's what happened to me. So I finally I hit rock bottom. I felt like everybody hated me, which Angel actually personally knows me, and there's people that are surrounded that I should have never, they all love me. And but nobody, in my mind, I thought nobody liked me, But in reality, there was plenty of people around me that loved me and liked me, but I couldn't see it. And it was because of the depression. And if I'd have just been honest and reached out, I'd never went as far as I did. So my thing for anybody that's battling this is start talking to somebody. Start being transparent. Even if you got to go see a professional person about it. It's so simple not to kind of go down this path. But once you start that, it somersaults and this goes so far. Mine's a little more deeper than that, because what we actually discovered, and this probably going to trip a lot of people out because it did me. I was actually molested when I was 4, and I never knew it. I didn't know it.
You stepped it.
I physically didn't know it until we started doing rapid eye movement sessions with a therapist. And I'll be honest, I thought it was complete crap. When she first told me she was going to pull this little stick out and do this in front of you, you got to follow it. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And after about a bunch of sessions, I thought I was better. I felt better, felt great. And one morning I got up and I would always get up on Sunday mornings, get up to church early. I'm the head of security at church and stuff, and
I wonder why.
and I'd always get there early, you know, and I had to just, and I felt like, and through this depression, I felt like if I wasn't doing what I was there, always there, something was going to happen. I took the God role. And so I felt like I always had to be there. And at the same time, I didn't want to be there because I knew I was neglecting my family, but I was always there. Didn't want to ask them to be there, it's all alone, but it was a complex that I had. Through this stuff coming out, I had got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, started just like, wow, why did I used to do this so much? Why, you know, this I don't get paid for it, it's voluntary, but I was like, why did I do this? And I had a vision in my head. And basically, long story short, this vision came back to me of what he did to me. And it only happened once, but it taught me so much. And prior to that, I didn't have a whole lot of sympathy for a lot of stuff. And I didn't have a whole lot of grace. And the biggest person I didn't have grace for was me. If I talked to my friends the way I talked to myself, I wouldn't have any friends. And that was a lot of it. And the stuff I was telling myself wasn't even true. Like, nobody thought this stuff about me. Nobody. But in my mind, it was all real, man. It was. I thought, oh my God, it's crazy how far we can go. And how did it happen? Someone talking. Right? I was only getting a one-sided conversation. That's mine in my mind. I didn't know the truth because I never went out and tried to find it. And it was there. But no. If we just be men and learn to truly love men, it wouldn't be a problem.
That's right.
We wouldn't even be sitting there.
I think a lot of depression becomes the opposite of the image of what a man's, man. So that's kind of what, once you get to that point, it's like you're going to automatically shut down. Because you're trying to live up to that image and trying to maintain that. I think there's a whole lot of other things that, kind of feed that, other than, different women's view of men. But then just society in itself, just, you're supposed to be this, So yeah, you can kind of get shut off, But yeah, I admire you for fighting. Yeah, definitely.
I admire him for sharing his story because the statistics say that 1 in 7 men have been molested or sexually violated. So right now we got 5 brothers at this table. So 2 more men in the room, we would then have another person who would also have your story, but they wouldn't dare tell it. So you have given people permission to share their story. And one of the things that I have learned through my training is that when we are wounded, we then believe something about ourselves. And in that believing something about ourselves, we go into this emotional upheaval. Yours became church. So in the eyes of people at church, you're a good man. You're a good man, Mr. Will. But they don't know that it is actually a dysfunctional behavior because you were hiding behind being security because you weren't safe. And your conscious mind didn't know it, but your subconscious and your body knew it because
Body's a huge one.
Right.
I want to touch on that too. I used to suffer from chronic pain. I don't know more. I suffer from that.
Because you released it.
I believe our body truly remembers. We're all
It
living right
absolutely
now.
does.
Cells,
It's science.
that's real.
Yeah.
I had chronic pain so bad, and I don't have none of it anymore. And I truly believe it's because my body knew all that was in me and it happened. But my mind didn't, which sounds just crazy. But all the studying and stuff I've done, this is exactly the way it happened.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Because unresolved pain gets trapped in the body. Unresolved trauma gets trapped in the body. And it will show up as arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer. And we are fighting the symptoms when our body is simply trying to release the pain that we've experienced through life. And what I'm hearing with the depression side, and I heard you as well, Robbie, if we don't have somewhere that's safe to release that because we're afraid it's going to come back, because what man is going to say, yeah, I was molested.
Yeah.
And not feel like somebody's going to think something differently.
And this is so true. So when this first happened to me, I'm like, they knew what is going to find out. And if they do, they might have to kill them. I mean, I'm being serious. And
You want to know something, Will? I
yeah,
mean, I know exactly what it happened to me too when I was younger.
Wow.
So, I mean, I grew up angry. I mean, I hated the world. So, I mean, no matter, as I was growing up, me being molested by another man happened only once. That was another reason why I hated talking to other men. The trust.
Violated.
I was violated, me being so innocent and somebody come taking that from me. And growing up, knowing, okay, I have a barrier that if you're a man, you're not getting in. I've always had, I don't have it anymore, but I've always had anger issues. I hated everybody. And I always felt like, like you said, if somebody knew, you're going to be thought of less. And I know exactly what you're talking about when you say, once you discovered it and you talked about it, you felt better.
yeah,
Ever since I talked about it, I felt way better. I changed myself as a man,
yeah,
not hating, but loving the right way. Loving a man because us as men, we lose our trust because of how we were raised, what happened to us growing up. And a woman to give you love and, to give you the love that, a woman, you need from a woman. But you can also get love from a man that could give you that security. You know what, man, we're going to walk this together. You have a brother, we're going to do this together, And I totally get the trust, you didn't, I was afraid to talk about it. But once I talked about it, I don't have no problem talking about it.
I actually shared my story really for the first time outside of a therapist's office or trusted friend this week to somebody, and felt like I was supposed to, and they admitted for the first time ever to anyone in their life that didn't happen to them. So yeah, we start talking about this, we're gonna get some freaking
Did you see what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
the communication with men. I mean, the release of that pain that was harbored inside of me, that monster that was inside. I mean, once you talk about that pain, I mean, you just feel like a new man. You feel like you want to know what? I'm not gonna let this hold me down no more. This is not gonna keep me anchored down no more. You know what? I'm 100% sure I'm not the only person that went through this.
Right.
So I mean, it's not to say to go around and talk about it, but when somebody's talking about it, you don't want them to feel like they're alone. That's why when he mentioned it, I had to let him know he wasn't alone. This is something as men, and it's not just also men to men. I mean, also to women too. I've been with my wife 30 plus years. Our anniversary was coming up. Many years I never told her because I said, you know what? I think my wife's going to think of me different, less of a man, because of what happened to me. My manhood was taken away from me. And when I did tell her, she said, I'm sorry you went through that. She comforted me. And that was my first step of being honest about what happened to me. Now it doesn't change who I am. It makes me who I am. My experience in life. When I talk to my daughters, I don't talk to my daughters, as, I'm always the father. I talk to them, if you make these kind of decisions, these are the things that are going to happen. My daughters think that I'm on top of dad. I'm always on top of them. I am, but I don't want them to think just cause. I explain to them. And my wife taught me how to be that way. Angel explained to them, why are you like this? So now I have a better communication with my kids. Now they respect my decisions more. It's not, oh, you just doing it because you're dad. No, now they understand. At first I was like, I don't have to explain that to my kid. I'm the dad. But you want to know what? We're in a time of age that our kids are growing up faster than what we think. So do we have to let them know that we understand what they're trying to do in life and try to prevent them from making those mistakes? As a father, one of my daughters have a boyfriend. I talk to him as a mentor. I don't talk to him because he's just, hey, look, no. I talk to him because I don't know who he has in his life that's pouring into him. So the time that I do talk to him, I pour positive, things that he could do when he's making his decisions. Give him a scenario. If you go down this route and you're hanging out with these people, you're going to expect this. But if you just change your route, it's going to take a little bit longer to where you want to go, but your foundation will be stronger, and nobody can take that from you.
That's good. That's good. Staying sort of in the same vein, share with me what you all are most afraid of. What are you most afraid of as a man?
Failure.
What is it? I hear failure. I want everybody to.
But failures of not being the father I need to be, not being the husband I need to be, not being the provider I need to be, not being the spiritual leader I need to be. All of those, right? As far as like true fears of like people or anything like that, I'm gonna honestly tell you I don't have them. And I'm not just sitting here telling you that. I'll give you a little quick my past. I used to be a Hell's Angel, and I've been through a lot of stuff, and I don't really fear people. And I'm not saying that bragging or anything else. It's just like what I fear is letting people down. That's what keeps me awake at night.
What does it say to you as a man? And I promise you all, I'm on card number 2. Question number 4. I got about 7 cards, so we're not going to get through them this evening. But when you think about what you all just shared in terms of being molested, when you think about the women in your lives, the women that you date, the women that you're married to, how do you share your fears? Because one of the things that I've done research on is trauma as a child shows up in adult. Okay. How do you come into relationship with people with those traumatic wounding experiences, and your dysfunctional behavior is really more acting out of a child's painful place? And this woman is thinking there's some way she can fix this. How do you help us understand that we can't fix this?
A woman can't fix it. The only thing I think a woman could do is listen. Listen without judging, without giving up, without It's to me, when a man pours his heart out, it's scary when you pour it out to a female, especially somebody that you're really into, and
That you want to impress.
Yeah, always. I mean, it's when you try to impress a woman, and then when you try to be honest, the woman, it's just like there's guys out there when they hear something they don't like, they back off. Not knowing that, you can actually be that person to save that person. Because there's a lot of times that people, they try to pour into somebody, or they try to, speak of their experience, and nobody gets them. It gets dangerous. Fall into depression, and it can become suicidal.
Oh, Angel, you can't go down that road yet.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm picking with you.
I'm just saying, it's when we speak, we just want the women to hear us. If they have an experience, they can relate to us in some way, because women's been, they've been down that road too, and doing it together and having that relationship, to me, helps build that relationship. That's like one of the foundation blocks, the honesty, opening up to each other.
Hey family, it's your girl, Sister Sheila, and all I can say is wow, what an incredible episode. We are so thankful to these 5 kind kings for being vulnerable and sharing their stories with us here on the Battle Station Presents. If you would like to get in touch with any of the gentlemen that you saw in this video, please use the contact information below and we'll be sure to get you connected. If you would like to have Reverend Lisa come to your church, your nonprofit, your school, or other organization, use the same contact information below and we'll be sure to connect you. Well, that's it for us here at the Battle Station Presents. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please be sure to like, share, and encourage a soulful conversation in your own communities. And if there's anything that we can do for you here at the Battle Station to help facilitate that, please be sure to let us know. Follow us on all of our social media handles and stay tuned for more from the Battle Station Presents.